Here's the problem that every beginner cook has with cooking chicken thighs. Bone-in chicken thighs, chicken legs, or any chicken. Here's the problem every beginner cook has. And I am going to solve that problem for you in 5 to 7 minutes. Stay right there. You don't want to miss this. All right, so as a chef instructor for over 40 years, I can tell you that the common mistake that you as a beginner are making when you cook chicken is that it either comes out too dry, it's not cooked all the way through, or it's just burnt, right? And no one wants that. So today, I'm going to show you a very, very simple way to make delicious chicken. We're going to use 2 different cooking techniques. We're going to combine sauteing as well as baking. Okay, and the combination is going to lock in the flavor and give you the most succulent, delicious chicken you've ever had. Don't worry, I got you. Now we're going to start out by showing you exactly all the ingredients we're going to be using today. First and foremost, we've got our chicken thighs. Now, sometimes a chicken thigh has the leg attached to it. As you can see right here, you may see in the store a thigh that looks like that. That's a full thigh. All right, now some stores they'll have it cut up like this. I cut these myself, but you choose. But this is a leg and this is a thigh. This is bone in. So here are our chicken thighs. The thing that I've also done is very, very important. I've pat these dry, okay, of all the moisture, because we don't want that added moisture inside of our pan when we start cooking. The other thing that we're going to be using today are the seasonings. What are we going to season it with? Okay, we're going to first start with, we always do, we have kosher salt and cracked black pepper. That will be the first thing. The next thing we're going to be using is some garlic powder, some lemon pepper. I have some lemon juice and some chicken stock. At the very end, some unsalted butter. And then we're going to finish it off with some herbs. Today we're just using fresh leaf parsley. But we always start off with a fat, and that is going to be extra virgin olive oil. All right? All right, no more messing around. Let's get going. I've got a burner here, and this is high. What we want to do, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to turn this down to a medium. And this is really important, okay? We're going to take our nice, well, this is also called a chicken fryer pan. And we're going to place that on here. It has a nice high side, so what we want. All right, it keeps the splatter out. And we'll let this get a little hot first. And while that's heating up, we will add our extra virgin olive oil, about 3 tablespoons, just like so. Now while that's getting hot, we're going to start with our seasoning. So we'll take our kosher salt and our black pepper. We're going to take our garlic powder and our lemon pepper. And then of course, we want to turn these on the other side because it's very important to get both sides. Another beginner mistake you may be making, and that's another little hack or trick that you should be aware of. Always get on both sides so the flavor of your seasonings go all the way through. Lemon pepper and our garlic powder. All right. Now you can see our pan starting to get a little hot, and you can see, you can always tell. See the kind of the waves in there? That's what we want. All right, so now we will take our chicken, and I want to do skin side down, like so. We'll put in the big pieces first, and you never want to crowd your pan. So this is going to fit in just exactly the amount that we have here. But if I had more, then I would do these in batches because you don't want to crowd your pan. If you crowd your pan, then it's going to reduce the heat, which is not going to give it a nice crust. The most important thing that you can do at this point here is to let your chicken cook. it is so important not to keep flipping and flipping and flipping and flipping, because you're not going to get that crust and you're not going to lock in the juices. This is what separates really, really good chicken from maybe what you've been doing in the past. We're going to lock in those flavors. That seasoning that we just put on is going to get nice and crusty on the outside of that skin, and that's going to give us the delicious, crispy flavor crunch every time I take a bite once it's finished. All right? So, here's the deal. I know I've said a lot, right? And I know I've talked about a lot today, and I've talked in particular about the two different cooking techniques we're going to use. The sauteing and finishing in the oven. So I have preheated my oven to 375 degrees. Okay, so we've got that down. Now, you can find all of this, all right, if you're having, want to follow along, in my Beginner's Blueprint ebook, all right? In this Beginner's Blueprint ebook, because you're new to cooking, this blueprint is really your personal kitchen game changer. Because inside, I break down how to use salt and seasoning, the right way. The level of heat you should be using, when you're cooking. How to avoid foodborne illness, and picking the best fats to use, olive oil, butter, whatever, and so much more. You really, really, really should grab your copy today. It is your little chef on the shoulder. It's really going to help you out a lot. All right, so now let's look at what we have going here. And as you can see, not quite. All right, so we'll keep that down. You can take a peek, but look at this one. That's what we're looking for. All right? And remember, this is on a low. You don't want it high. Beautiful. Beautiful. And again, in order to really achieve this beautiful locked-in flavor, you have to be patient. Be patient. So we'll let this go just a little bit. Turn this one down. And now, before we put it into the oven, what I want to do is I want to add a little liquid. This is really what's going to lock in all of those juices. Before we put it into the oven, it's really going to keep all the chicken moist. This is really the number one kind of professional pro tip that I can give you today, because this is what's going to keep that juiciness. And people are going to be like, oh my goodness, how do you get your chicken so moist? So here you go. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take some lemon juice and just get it right on top of the chicken. And then we're going to do the same with some chicken stock. And we're going to probably put in about 1/4 cup, okay? And again, right on top of the crust of the skin, like so. And what you're doing here is you're developing moisture that's going to be sucked in, and when you put it into the oven, it's going to let off steam inside of that oven, which is going to produce that chicken stock's going to rise up. It's going to be infused inside of that beautiful chicken. All the seasonings on the outside are now locked in. The moisture is locked in. And we're going to end up with a delicious, delicious final product. Stay right there. All right. We have taken the chicken out of the oven, 375 degrees for 20 minutes. I want you to look at this. You can see the seasonings and how they have just locked into the crust, made a nice crust rather. We have our juice. This is the chicken stock and the lemon juice, all right? And these are perfectly cooked and moist, okay? All we do now, in the last minute, and this is a true pro tip here, this is why you're here, right? This is why you want to know the difference between dried out, overcooked, or undercooked beautiful chicken. This is the trick here. So what we do is, now it's out of the oven, we're going to take it, place it on our platter here, like so. Just like so. Now here's the pro tip that I want everyone to see. So we got our chicken right there. Now that's just perfect, delicious. Just, I mean, boom. I mean, who would not want to dive into that? But look what we're doing here. What I've got is I've got all this beautiful pan sauce. I mean, you would never want to waste this, all right? If you learn anything from this video today about cooking chicken the proper way, this is it. I'm bringing this up to a boil, and it's reducing down a little bit. Now, I've got this unsalted butter that we talked about in the very beginning. This is the pro tip. We're gonna add this is 2 tablespoons, into our stock. And you just wanna let this kind of melt down naturally. And what this is doing is it's creating a beautiful emulsification, which is just basically thickening up this sauce. So the combination of the reduction, the heat is reducing the stock down, and the fat of this butter, not only is it adding flavor, but it's helping it become a sauce. It is so unbelievable. And then at the very end, we'll add some parsley. And at this point, you could add basil, tarragon, oregano, combination of all 3, whatever you wanted at this point. And look at that. And we're gonna let this reduce down by half. So let's just give this another 3 or 4 minutes. Then we will ladle this over our chicken. We will taste the finished product. I will show you just how juicy and delicious it is inside. Oh, I cannot wait. All right, I want you to look at this. Look at the bubbling coming up there. That's the reduction process. Look how it's coming down and turning into a sauce. This is what's gonna separate you from everybody else right here. Look at that. Unbelievable. Now we'll turn the heat off. I'm gonna slide this over just a little bit so I can get the chicken front and center. And now we'll take our sauce, just like so. What can I say? Need I say more? Is that not gorgeous? And let me just reiterate, you can do this. You can do this. It is very, very simple. Max time, we had all the ingredients. Max time, prep time was about 20 minutes. Cooking time for the saute portion was about 7 to 10 minutes. Then 20 minutes in the oven. So we're now right at about an hour. If you were to come home or on the weekend and you wanted to make some delicious chicken for your family, for yourself, for your spouse, friends, neighbors, whomever, literally give yourself an hour and you will have the most delicious, succulent chicken you have ever had. And I'm going to prove it to you. Let's dive in here. I want to get maybe a piece of this thigh right here. Oh my goodness, it smells amazing, by the way. Let me get this thigh, completely cooked, delicious, succulent. Let me just get this piece right here. And you can just look at this. I mean, look at this piece. I mean, it just looks, it's just, oh my goodness. Mm. Oh, that is so good. Let's try a leg. Look at this. It's falling. It's just falling. Look at that. You see that? You can do this. And you just, oh my goodness. You take that. You get it on some of that sauce. Oh, that is so good. You know, I gotta tell you, every time I make this, I'm even amazed myself, and I've been doing this for 40 years. To teach this to me, to you, is like more than a gift. I just want to see you create amazing 5-star, delicious, succulent chicken, just like this. And I want to hear from you. If you've had problems with making chicken in the past, leave a comment below. I want to hear from you. Tell me where your biggest struggle is. Tell me if I've solved any of your problems today. Tell me if I've answered any questions for you today. Here at Chef Brian's Kitchen, it's all about the beginner cook. It's all about elevating your kitchen confidence and your cooking confidence all at the same time. And as I've mentioned to you before, one of the best ways to really kind of have me with you throughout this whole process is to get my blueprint so you can make chicken just like this. And again, inside of this blueprint, you're going to find everything that you need. You're going to have what kind of salt to use, what spices should I have in my pantry, what spices should I not have in my pantry, how to eliminate foodborne illness. Oh, no, that's a big one. You do not want to get sick on bad food. How do you eliminate that? What are the red flags? What are the pitfalls? All that's in the book. The heat. How high should my burner be? How low should my burner be? All of these questions are answered in the book. The different techniques of cooking. We today use sauteing and we did roasting and baking. I teach all the different techniques. Grab your copy. There is a link to the Beginner Blueprint ebook in the description box below. I cannot wait for you to grab it. You're going to love it. It's really going to help you out. The key here is to become a better cook, and you are in the right place. I am Chef Brian. Until next time, remember, eat well and stay healthy.